Actually, probably
right here.
Yeah, it should be fine. We'll just make sure that we're watching out for it. We don't get in its way. All right. So for this install today, we're going to need a few items. Bits, right. We're going to need the serial board. Count 2 Ethernet cables. Serial board. 1 parallel adapter made by Intel Fuel for miscellaneous needs. And yeah, we're going to need power, internet, and something I'm sure Matt bought because it slides in and out like the Jurassic Park.
Barbasol.
Yep. Like a glove.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So the worst part, worst thing that can happen at this point is if the CMOS battery in this is bad, and it wipes out all the config, which on a Friday is more likely.
Friday, it's more likely.
It's because it's Friday.
End of the day, it's even, critical hit chance.
Alright. Oh, they actually have a COM board in here already.
So you think they had something like this in the past and installed
Yeah, they
it?
do. This is an older version. I could tell because your send receive lights are right there.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I knew what this went to. That's great. We'll just come in behind it. We'll put our own communication board right here on number 3. So all of these basically are just pull tabs. Lock in, pull out. It's the same way with our COM board. Set up the same way. These things can be a little tricky sometimes. They don't want to slide in there right, so I would always make sure this can fully push in before I'd consider it installed.
Before it's installed,
Yep.
Pushing up before I just pop it right out.
So, depending on the site, if the tank gauge loses power, they'll lose the ability to pump. That's usually at marathons. Okay? So what I always do is I go and locate where the breaker is to turn this guy off, which is probably over here in one of these panels. You can almost always pull it. They do organize it to where the fuel panel will always be where the TLS is, and this is where the fuel panel is. And oh wait, hold on.
For the boys.
For the boys. Okay.
This is when you miss them just writing Sharpie on everything.
Tank monitor, 44. Alright, so we know where that's at. Now we need to make sure nobody's pumping. So, another thing that I do to reduce this as much as possible, I will actually take this board out and I'll semi-slide it into place.
Kind of pre-stage.
Yep. There's a, go ahead and get a shot of this. There are lips where the top of the board fits into. Make sure you're always in those rails. Because if not, I've seen it not fit right. So it's in there. It's almost ready to install. And now we make sure nobody's pumping. And then push it into place. Making sure that goes in, and you can also tell by where the board sits.
Make sure it's all square and flush.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so then turn it on and hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts.
If something goes wrong, it will always stay at that warm start, and it won't ever come back up. But this tells me that the CMOS battery was good. So we're good to go to the next part.
So the CMOS battery is bad, so what would happen? Would it lose its config?
It loses all of its config.
Okay, so then at that point,
hell broke loose.
Due to someone else's lack of maintenance, it's your fault though.
Yep. Ultimately, it falls on you to call Larson. Poor Jesse, that happened to him 3 installs in a row. So I pretty much just said, all right, I'm just going to do this from now on. Okay. Do you really need to get in on the...
Hey, it's your video. You know,
okay.
You decide what you want filmed. I'm just, you know,
all right,
cameraman.
So we have our serial board.
Look at that pin out.
Basically, it's just an Ethernet jack. Always want to make sure these are wrenched down. I don't know how many times I've installed one of these and had to came back out because somebody bumped it and unplugged it. Okay, so those are down.
That's the serial cable, or
they're all technically Ethernet cable, but they double over as serial cable. Hopefully, don't have to worry about it. As long as it's not a crossover cable, it'll work as a serial. That in like so, and we won't plug this in yet because we still don't know where it's going to reside. But oh yeah, so we do need to check to make sure that the serial board is working correctly. So luckily these little boxes contain the installation setup. And we're just going to validate. Press move key twice, function key once, step 4 times. Okay. Mode key twice. Oh, that's what's going on. Okay. Display diag mode. Function key once. Step key. Press enter. And then we'll just cycle through until we see the actual comm. So we got electric display, the serial board that we found, and then this is the one that we're going to work on or work with. Okay. Now we need to set up the rest of our stuff here. Luckily we do have an open port there in that AT&T Uber, so we just go straight into that. You're gonna make somebody seasick. Or motion sick.
You know, you laugh now, but someday someone might see this video and get saved their ass. like installing one of these.
Okay. So we got serial from this Ethernet cable. You can go into any port. Doesn't really matter. It just pulls
Figured the same, or they can figure when you call.
Yep. And honestly, I think they send the commands. They blast it out of both serial ports. All right, and then we've got our Ethernet cable. It's going to go in through here. And last bit. Is our power.
Oh, look at that, plenty of room.
I think I'm going to go in through this side. So I'm thinking we could probably put this bad boy right here. We'll just set him up right here.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so it's nearby. Too bad we don't have any like double-sided Velcro.
Well, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to use all of these once we get it in its final place to kind of tuck up the wires and get it out of the way. But right now I need to test to make sure
it's even going to work.
It's going to work.
Now what are you looking for here?
The blue power will always stay on. Whenever they get the configuration right, this run light runs off of serial and communicates with the TLS-350. This right here is your internet light. When it's red, which right now it looks orange. When it's red, it's not connected to the internet. When it's orange, it's connected to the network but not connected to the internet. And when it's green, it's connected to the internet. It can see PDI.
That's so much easier than yesterday's.
Oh yeah, I know. Tell me about it. And they've got some kind of alarm that I need to kill. This is.
You hear that? What is that? Is that us?
Come on, no.
Tap it a few times. This wasn't supposed to happen. Found water in their fuel. Like we just happened to be back here, so we're at fault.
All right. Missing ticket warning. Actually, I'm not quite sure what those are, but it's been happening. Well, no, I just printed off 4 times. Okay. Not majorly our concern, but all right. So the next phase of this is we need to call PDI and get a ticket in from this location, and then we need to clean up. But yeah.
And can you tell the audience what we were installing here today?
We are installing a Device Commander 2, and this is primarily used to pull tank readings from any older style TLS 350, any of our tank Sentinels, to deliver tank ratings through this board out to the internet to PDI.
I'm gonna wrap it right there.